Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it's Tuesday, it's 10 p.m. We're back in the house. My name is Paul Spencer. I'm with Joey the Hitman Wood. Joey, how's it going, brother? How we feeling tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. It's NFC Championship week. It feels good. But
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't doing it to throw insults, Paul. I swear on my children. It feels good. It feels a little bit different leading in this week. Last time we were in this position,
Mm.
we were trying to get our first. This time it's like, all right, now I can sit back and enjoy a little more. There's not that anxiety of trying to get over that hump. You know what I mean? So
Joey, real quick, congratulations to your Eagles, but I've been sitting here for 27 years waiting for a Super Bowl, so I don't want to hear your shit tonight, seriously.
yeah, I'm no insults here. I'm just saying something I saw the other day was pretty funny. It said the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, right? From that time till now, Jalen Hurts has been born.
I know, I've seen
He's
that. I've seen
graduated
that.
high school, won the national championship, been drafted, and has a chance to go to Super Bowl before the last time the Dallas Cowboys
Exactly, I know, I've seen
went,
that.
which is
Yeah,
crazy.
that's kind of crazy, though, isn't it? Like, you think about the ages since 95, 96, basically 95, really. Thinking about how long it's actually been. I moved to Philadelphia in 91, Joey. You
Yeah,
know, and I was lucky enough to see two, three, of course. While I was here in Philadelphia. When they beat the Buffalo Bills. But I tell you, it's
there's
been a
one name
long
that
time.
stays steady, Paul. There's one name that stays constant in 26 years. I mean, that it seems like that's the problem.
Yeah, well, I think it's that is part of the puzzle as well, Joey. But I think a lot has to do with the coaching staff we have. Not Dan Quinn. I give him kudos 100% what he did with that defense. But I think it's McCarthy and Kellen Moore,
But
honestly.
here's the thing, Paul, and
You
I
know,
don't get off topic, but
hmm
here's what I think, me personally, as an outsider looking in. You're going to continue to get them kind of coaching choices because
true.
Jerry Jones needs a yes man. Jerry Jones
Oh,
needs someone who will listen
100%.
to him, kind of like what happened with Howie and Doug.
Yeah.
Howie wanted to be in control of the play, not the play call, but the personnel from week to week.
hmm
Doug said no. Doug was fired, and then Nick was brought in, a young coach who kind of listened to Howie a little bit. I think the same thing happens now with the Cowboys. Ever since Jimmy Johnson left,
True.
they wanted a coach in place that would listen to Jerry Jones and what Jerry Jones had to say, and
hmm
that's why you keep getting these coaches who the Clapper or McCarthy, who does head
hmm
scratching things sometimes. It's just
Very
these
true.
guys who will bow down to Jerry Jones.
That's very true, Joey. I think it has a lot to do with it. I call any coach for the Dallas Cowboys the puppet man.
Yeah,
You're on a string with Jerry Jones. I mean, just like you mentioned, Jimmy Johnson. Before we get into it, we'll take 2 minutes here. Just like you said with Jimmy Johnson, he was not a yes man. He controlled that team, made the biggest
that's why he
trade in
got out
history.
of there.
Exactly. But the thing is, I mean, when they brought in Barry Switzer, anybody could have won with that team, Joey. That
Mhm.
team was given to him. I mean, we could have coached the team
Maybe the best line
in history.
ever,
Yes.
ever.
And the thing was, they brought Barry Switzer in to slap Jimmy Johnson in the face because there was a beef between those two. From Miami to Oklahoma, there was a big beef with these two.
Yeah,
So that was a slap in the face to bring him in. But he was let go after that year. But you're right. Clapper, you look at McCarthy, they're yes men.
yeah,
You need a coach like Jimmy Johnson to come back here and say, listen, stay in the press box, write the damn checks, let us win a title, let me
yeah.
control the team. That's the way it is because until then, Joey, it's not going to happen. But Joey,
Yeah, because look at this year. Look at this year, Paul. I know we're getting off topic, but
mhm.
what were the Cowboys missing the biggest? They're missing a deep threat who could separate. And if I'm
Well,
not mistaken, there was a guy in Cleveland
yeah, a
who
$20
was
million
pretty
man
good
for
at
Amari Cooper.
separating. Yeah, pretty good at separating, and
Mhm.
you just gave him away for a fifth round pick.
Yeah,
Pretty
in a bag of
crazy.
stale peanuts, exactly. Like listen, $20 million goes a long way, but still, we didn't use that $20 million for anything this year, Joey. We
Yeah.
couldn't use that to keep him on a 1 year deal to collaborate with CeeDee Lamb. But we'll get into that tomorrow night on the 215 Boys Show because Amari Cooper, before he left, Joey, he did say something regarding Dak Prescott and the offense of this team. He said Dak Prescott is a type quarterback who only stares down your one receiver.
Yeah.
And
I
that was
saw a
very
play
true this
call.
year.
I watched the video today, and this is the last comment I'm going to make about the Cowboys or the Eagles or anything. I saw a video today where it was one drive where Dak almost threw a pick to Lamb across the middle,
Mhm.
and it was a third down play. After the play, Hilton was on the sideline, kind of laying in the Dak a little bit, and everyone was like, "What's going on there?" And if you watch the play back,
He was
um,
wide open running a streak route, Joey.
Warner was going to. It looked like Warner was going to blitz in,
Yes, the hot
and then
route
was
was
going
wide
to
open.
leave
Mhm.
Hilton wide open on a streak.
Yes. Mhm.
Dak looked at Lamb before the play started and never checked off of Lamb.
Yeah.
Hilton was streaking down the middle of the field wide
Mhm.
open.
Yeah.
But plays like that are why I think the Eagles win this weekend, because the Eagles have A.J. Brown, Dante Smith that can operate the middle of the field,
Mhm.
and Jalen's not afraid to go into the middle of the field with those guys. So I think that's
Exactly.
going to be
Mhm.
the biggest factor. But
And
it's gonna be a good game.
they're going to take their deep shots as well. Cowboys only had one deep shot in the fourth quarter, and it was a 50-yard bomb to Lamb.
That's the biggest
But
weak point. Their corners are the biggest weak point of their defense.
exactly, and we didn't attack it. We didn't
You
attack it.
continue to run up the middle against the arguably two best middle linebackers in the
Linebackers, yeah.
NFC.
Warner and Greenlaw. Yeah, exactly.
Makes no
100%.
sense.
100%.
You see that guy got locked up, the defensive end.
What's that? I did see
Defensive
that. I
end.
did see that for
Biggest
assault
game
on
of
his
your
wife or
career.
something.
Biggest
He did.
game of your career.
He did. I mean, that's not the first one for San Francisco if you think about it. What's the other guy out there?
You had him for a little while.
Yeah, I can't remember his name though.
Smith. Alden
Smith. Alden Smith. Yeah, you're right. Alden Smith.
All the
Exactly.
talent in the world. He to me was the closest
Yeah,
thing.
I agree with Eileen right there. Definitely.
Yeah. But Alden Smith, when he was good and his head was straight and he wasn't doing
he was
weed
nasty.
and
He was nasty.
he was the closest thing I can remember to
DeMarcus Ware.
Lawrence. To Lawrence.
I would say Ware.
Yeah, but he
To
was
his
just.
moves.
Remember, there was that one year where he almost broke the sack record in a season.
Didn't he go to the Bears as well?
He was in the 49ers to start.
Yeah, but he was a hell of a career. But
Yeah.
one thing ruins your career, Joey. We already know that.
Yeah, he was closest to Lawrence than I could ever remember.
But Joey, since my Cowboys are out and you're with the Eagles here, congratulations to your Eagles moving on to the conference finals here. Those are fighting words to me. So let's talk about some fighting sports here, Joey.
Yeah,
we had an event this weekend, Joey. Let's talk about
two events here. We had two events here.
We did. We'll get into the
UFC
second event
first and boxing second.
We'll get into that event there. Our hometown boy. We'll let you know the outcome of there. So let's talk about UFC 283 here, Joey. Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch the whole event because listen, I'm a football fan, number one. I was watching football, and plus we were watching the Trayshawn Wiggins fight as well. So let's talk about one of these fights here, Joey. Which one would you like to start with first, Joey? There's little Joey.
Yeah, we'll start with the top three that we cover from the beginning. We'll start with
okay. Which one do you want to go first? You want to go with the Burns fight?
Yeah, we'll do Burns first.
All right. Well, let's talk about this, Joey. Okay, Burns, first round submission, arm triangle over Magnia. What did we say last week, Joey?
Yeah, this is what we kind of hinted at. If Burns was able to get it to the ground, which he did fairly easy, we thought Burns was going to be able to control the submission, control on the ground, and lock in a submission and get it to the ground.
What do you keep looking over your shoulder for? Little Joey's going to come put you in like a triangle, neck triangle or something here, Joey?
Well, no, because every night he fights with me to go to sleep, and then today I let him stay up a little bit, and 10:15 he's put himself to bed. I'm like, what's going on with this kid?
Uh-oh. I think he's just trying to come get you a rear naked chokehold. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, right.
I just texted Alexis and I was like, let little Joey come in and get a new rear naked chokehold on Big Joe. While we're live.
But yeah, I mean, we were also wondering after the stand up that we saw in his last fight if Burns was going to try to keep it on the feet, because we always knew that Burns had the grappling and the submission game in his back pocket at all times. But from that Usman fight on, his stand-up seemed to progress fight after fight, and he's relying more and more on that stand-up a little more. So I was kind of curious to see if he was going to rely on that a little more. I was a little shocked that he was able to get Magny out in the first round just because he is a great competitor. Yes. Magny is a hell of a fighter. I thought with Magny's defense, he would be able to expand the fight a little bit more. But not shocked that Burns got the win, just shocked with how fast it happened.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like we talked about, can he get it down to the ground? I mean, that to me in the first round, Joey, really it really surprised me actually. I thought it was probably going to go 2 rounds, at least 2 rounds. But I tell you what, Burns looked pretty damn good. I mean, where does he go from here, Joey? What do you think he actually does? He move up the rankings?
So I think he's 3, right? I think he's 3.
He's 3. Yeah.
So Colby and Chimaev are 1 and 2, right? Or no? Chimaev is probably 4, right?
You have Usman number one, of course. Leon Edwards number one, Usman 2, Kobe 3, Chimaev 4 or 3. Gilbert is actually 5 according to the UFC right now.
So Leon doesn't count because he's a champion. So it'd be Usman 1.
So you're 4 right now, behind Muhammad.
Usman 1, Colby 2.
And you got Belal Muhammad.
So he's 5.
Yeah, if you're not including the champ.
Where's Chimaev ranked?
Chimaev is 3.
Yeah, so he'd be 5th because Colby's up there, right?
Yeah, Kobe's up there. You have Usman, Kobe, Chimaev, and Muhammad, then Burns.
Then Burns. So Burns is
5.
5.
Yep, you're 5.
So we know we're gonna get. We know we're getting. What?
Isn't Chimaev locked up?
He hasn't had a fight announced yet recently.
Sergio Santana 99 says saludos. I think that's greetings. If my Spanish is correct. Greetings to you, Sergio. Thank you for checking in, brother. Appreciate that.
So I'm sorry. Burns is 5th.
Mm-hmm.
We know 1 and 2.
Well, 1 and 2 is going to fight again. They're going to fight again.
Well, not 1 and 2 because
no, Edwards and Usman's going to be.
Edwards doesn't count. Mm-hmm. So we know 1 is locked up. 1's going to fight the champion.
Spanish.
You're not going to do Chimaev Burns again just because that's just too fresh.
Right.
I'm trying to remember if Muhammad and Burns fought, and I don't believe they did.
I don't think they did actually.
See, now if Muhammad doesn't want to wait for a title shot, because I think he's coming up next line. He's on a little bit of a tear here with wins in a row. Mm-hmm. If Muhammad doesn't want to wait, I think we could see Burns Muhammad. I would actually like that fight. That fight would intrigue me.
Okay, so you're gonna go 4-5, pretty much, right?
4-5, okay. 4-5, and here's why: because we have to eventually get 2-3, because that's the fight everyone's asking for.
That's what I want to say. I was going to ask you, when's Kobe and Chimaev going to fight?
Yeah, that has to be the next fight. At this point, Kobe hasn't fought in almost 2 years now.
Exactly.
You know, his last fight was when he pretty much obliterated Masvidal. Mm-hmm. So his last fight was almost a full year ago.
Yeah, 1 year, yeah.
2022. So almost a full year ago, March 5th, 2022. Like, that's a long time to go in between fights. So
yeah,
I hope we get, for that division, it kind of breaks down perfectly for you. You got you get Leon versus Usman, then you get Chimaev, Kobe, and then you get Muhammad and Burns, and it kind of writes itself right there for you.
I definitely like that. I definitely like what you said there, because 1 and 2 champion versus 1, we already know it's going to happen. The rematch is definitely going to happen, and then you're going to get that 2 and 3 match. I think Chimaev walks all over him. Honestly, I really do. And Belal Muhammad fight versus Burns, it plays out. You got your top 3 tiers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very simple.
But who walks all over who? Who'd you say walks all over who?
I think Chimaev kills him. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I really think Chimaev is going to kill
Kobe. I think Kobe ragdolls this man.
I don't think so. What we've seen with Chimaev lately, Joey, listen, there's something about this
only
dude, Joey.
One person in the UFC can even touch Kobe right now.
And that's going to be Chimaev.
That's Usman. Every other fighter Kobe has walked through. Kobe has walked through every other fighter.
Listen, this is Chimaev, okay? This is Chimaev, okay? He's a beast, Joey. I'm telling you. If I'm laying it early, I would not just do it. No, we don't know when this is going to happen. But if it was,
I think Kobe is light years better than Burns.
Okay, I agree with that. Yeah.
And Burns took Chimaev to the test.
Okay, well, I think Chimaev is going to definitely evolve here, Joey. I think he's going to do this. I mean, when do you think this is going to happen? When do you think this will happen, if it does happen? Because I know, Joey, we want to talk about the fight.
So I think this fight would be announced after Edwards Usman.
I think they wait until after the Jones fight, Joey.
No. Well, here's what I'm saying. If Edwards Usman, if Usman comes out there and wrecks Edwards and puts that to bed, like, okay, this is done with. Like, there's no reason for this to happen again. Like, Usman just obliterates him, and then Usman's kind of sitting there, like, okay, well, now what? I think you can see Colby versus Shimaiva say, okay, well, the winner of this fight would get Usman again.
Sure, you have to. I think so. Yeah.
That's the only reason I think Colby would be willing to risk it against Shimaiva. Because right now, Colby's sitting there at 2, like, okay, well, everyone else below me can't touch me.
Okay.
So
Do you
give
think
me Usman again.
do you think he backs out and just waits for that opportunity after the fight of Usman Edwards? Do you think he's that type fighter?
Well, he's
Or
not going to get that because he's already lost to Usman twice. Be it
Right.
2 close fights,
Right.
he's already lost to him twice. You're going to have to prove it at this point. But what
Okay.
I'm saying is, if you look at who Colby's beat, he's beat a lot of the top guys in that top 10.
Mhm.
At this point, it's like, okay, well, we know Usman can beat him, but really, who else in
Okay.
the
Well,
top 10
let's put it in a different category here. What if Edwards actually shocks the world again and wins this fight? You know, in the rematch here, he beats Usman. Does Colby still fight?
Yeah, Colby gets
Shimaiva?
Edwards, and
He
Colby's
gets
your next
Edwards.
champion.
Okay, so that's going to be the stepping ladder for him. If Edwards wins, Kobe jumps to that spot, of course.
Yeah, and Colby's the next champion.
Now,
Fairly
does
easily. And I hate
what?
Colby.
I agree with that. If it's Edwards, I agree with that. If it's Edwards, I
I
agree.
hate Colby, but Colby easily ragdolls Leon.
I agree with that 100%. If it's Usman, it's going to be a different story, Joey. It's going to be a different story. But if it's Edwards, I give you 100% respect
But
there. I
before
think it's
this,
gonna
and
happen.
here's the thing: before this Edwards fight, and I mean Edwards didn't really challenge Usman; he just caught him. But before this Edwards fight, the only fighter that really challenged Usman was Colby. The only fighter that
Right.
pushed Usman was Colby. Like Colby is a goofy dude. He's very
So
controversial.
those fights, where did they end up? Did they go to a decision? Did they
So
go?
the one, I
think
forget
one
the
did, right?
most recent one, but the first one was a stoppage because Usman broke Colby's jaw. Remember?
Yeah, the jaw thing. Yeah.
I forget what the most recent one.
I
Usman,
don't
I'm gonna
think it
look up
went
real
the distance.
fast.
I don't know if it went the distance. I was just wondering if it did. Because I agree. I think Usman wins his title back here. I really do. And I think
The second one went to a 5-round decision.
Okay, so it wasn't okay, it did go. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean I agree with you. I think Kobe is well, he deserves what he is right now, but
I think this is how
I don't know.
this division ranks. I
Mhm.
think you have Kamaru Usman, then a notch below him is Colby,
Okay, I agree with that so far. Okay.
and then it's everyone else. I just think
Wait a
them
minute,
two are
wait.
better than everyone else.
You're going Usman, Kobe, and then you're saying everybody else, right?
Yeah,
Where does my boy Chimaev fall in all this?
he's fought one guy so far in the top 5, and
Oh.
that guy took him to the brink. If that's a
Okay.
5-round fight, Chimaev is on his back out.
I don't know, Joe. I don't agree with that, man. I don't agree with that one. I'm on the Chimaev train, Joey. You know that. I'm on the Chimaev train, man. Told you that.
You're not a big fan.
I know you're not a big fan. You know, I'm not a big fan of Conor McGregor either.
You don't see me on this. Say I'm on the train. I admit the faults.
Okay, so do I, but I think Chimaev is definitely going to be. I think he's going to be within the next 3 fights, Joey. I think he is the champion in the division. The next 3 fights. But we all have to wait until it plays out because we know Usman and Edwards are going to rematch here. We know that's going
If
to be a big
Usman
effect.
gets this belt back, Chimaev is not touching the belt. That's just my thinking.
So you're thinking he's going to be stuck at 3 pretty much because it's going to be a
No, I don't
Kobe.
I don't think he's able to beat Usman.
I don't see. Usman's a different animal, man. I mean, to me, that's
Where does he beat him at? Like Chimaev has great stats. Don't get me wrong, but Chimaev, I mean, Usman's too strong to be taken down.
You're not going to be taking him down because, like I said, Edwards was the first one ever in history to take him down. Am I correct about that?
Yep, first one in the UFC.
And that was a lucky thing, honestly. I mean, I think that was just a luck of the moment, just like with the 24-second kick, heard around the world. It was luck. Taking Usman down was definitely luck. I don't know, Joey. Honestly, I like how you just said that because I don't think Chimaev can beat Usman. I mean, the power is there.
I truly think that Edwards
He's going to have to keep it up. He's going to have to keep it on the feet, Joey. He's definitely going to have to keep it on the feet.
I truly think Edwards winning was the best thing possible for this division, just because if Edwards is able to, he put some of that self-doubt in Usman's head, and we get a different Usman that comes into this fight. If Edwards is able to somehow win again, it opens that division again.
It does.
With Usman at the top with the belt, I think that's a dead division because until Usman says otherwise or until Usman moves up,
Hmm.
Usman controls that division.
I agree with that 100%. I think Leon Edwards is more. I don't want to. I hate saying this word, Joey,
He's
but
beatable.
he is beatable. But I hate saying this, Joey, but I believe Edwards is a paper champion in his division.
No, I don't think
I
he's paper
really,
champion because
I do.
he went on a long streak
He did,
over
but
many years to get to that championship. So he's not a paper champion, but I'm under the motion that until you defend it one time,
that's
you're
what I'm
never
saying.
actually the champion.
That's what I mean by paper, Joey. Right now, on paper, statistically, he is the champion. But like we watched that show fight, Joey, and I remember the kick heard around the world. You controlled the fight for 4 minutes and 4 minutes and 50 or 4 minutes and 36 seconds into the fifth round. You control the entire fight. In the last 24 seconds, you got the kick heard around the world to win you the championship. Until you defend that title and you show me what you're about, you're going to be my paper champion. Usman is still the champion to me, Joey. He really is. And there's Dave
Yeah.
Yarnell. You can check him out tomorrow night. Dave, thank you for checking in, brother. You can see him on the 215 Boys tomorrow night with myself, 6:30. I got a disappointing show tomorrow night, but hey, we're all Cowboys fans and we're going to be here till the end. So, Dave, thank you for checking in, little brother. Appreciate it. But, Joey, I mean, this division here, just like you said, if Usman wins this division, it's going to open up so much. If Edwards stays here, it's just going to be a ladder.
No, you had it flipped around.
What?
If Usman wins the belt back, the division kind of locked up again. If
Oh, I'm
Edwards,
sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, if Edwards wins the belt, it kind of opens it up and
Right, and otherwise
more
it's going to be
fair
it's going to be it's going to be a stepping ladder. You know, we're going to see one champion versus one, two versus three, four versus five, and it's just going to be a ladder of events. It's going to be, it's going to be like a Royal Rumble, effect. Who wins this? Who wins this? Who gets proper rights to fight? That's what it's going to be.
yeah.
But I mean, with this Burns fight, Joey, I mean, where does Magny go from here? I mean, he first round, Joey, first round. I didn't expect much from him, honestly. I really didn't. I mean, he's ranked 14th now, Joey. 14th.
Yeah, you expect him to drop out of the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still a name that casuals
True.
know just for his longevity.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll still be in a more predominant spot.
So you
going
think he's pretty
forward.
much going to be like an undercard guy now?
Undercard, or maybe like one of the top 3 fights on like a fight night.
Okay,
card.
fight night. Okay.
Just because casuals know his name because
True.
of how long he's been in the UFC.
Very true.
So I can see him being put against maybe younger guys that people don't know about as like
Okay.
stepping stones to kind of promote them.
Okay. Well, let's get into the next fight here, Joey. Now, this fight here, Moreno wins the ref stoppage versus over Figgy. Let's talk about this one, Joey. What did you see with this one?
Forget the ref stoppage. I thought Moreno was dominating the fight up until that point. He was controlling it, getting takedowns at ease. I think the right thing that he did was move up after this fight. I think the weight cuts are truly depleting his power and depleting him overall. I think he will do a lot better at 135 going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see him and fun to see him there at a weight class where he's not killing his body to get down the weight every time. So it'll be interesting. But sorry. But the one thing I have to say, and I really wasn't a fan of it, was Moreno won fair and square.
He did.
And the disrespect that he was shown as he was running out of the ring was horrible. I know Brazil fans are fiery and passionate and all of that, but like he was running for his life at that point, and it was funny because once he got into the back, he started cracking up laughing.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching, and after the fight's over, you hear Joe Rogan talk or DC out there talking, of course, after the fight's over. So you definitely want to hear that because with the Jemiah Hill fight, there was a lot of shit talking after that fight. I love what he said, but with Moreno, I turned it off for a second, and as I'm walking out of the room, I was downstairs watching the movie room, and I walked away for a second, and I see him ducking, running out of the arena. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It's like, what is this, a fire drill? What the hell's going on? And then you can see like cups with ice, all like big ice pieces just being thrown at him. I mean, Joey, that to me, it doesn't matter where you fight at, Joey, honestly. but that is so disrespectful when you do that. I understand, just like you said, being in Brazil, you beat Figgy from Brazil, of course, but there's no reason for that shit, dude. There's no reason, Like what's going on, Mike? You can check out Mike tomorrow on Thursday night. Mike, Big Four Locker Room Podcast, 8 p.m. Check him out talking Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies. What's going on, Mike? Thank you for checking in, brother. Appreciate it. But you think about it, Joey. But let me ask you before regarding the fight, Joey. Did you think Figgy was actually going to submit Moreno when he had that leg lock in?
It was close. I mean, he got that heel hook in the first round. It was pretty close there. He started cranking a little bit. I was like, oh, he might be out of there quick. And then another time I thought is when he pulled guard when he was standing up and he got him into a guillotine a little bit off his back. That looked tight a little bit too. And Moreno just I was through it and kept going.
That's what I was thinking. Because you know what? If you remember that, Joey, if you remember that fight there, Moreno had his hand like on the mat, like it looked like he was going to tap. I thought he was actually going to tap. You know what I mean? I definitely thought he was going to tap.
And that heel hook looked like he had more trouble than
definitely
guillotine. But I really thought that first round, that heel hook, he had it locked in.
I did too.
I think two things play a factor. I think the location played perfectly for Figueroa. He had it in the middle of the ring, nothing to kind of, and he still wasn't able to get it in. But I also think them closer to the end of the first round, a little more sweat involved, a little more friction there. Had it happen earlier in the first, maybe when they hadn't worked up quite enough sweat at that point, might have been a different story. Might not have been able to slip out of there like that. But also the time. I think it happened very close to the end of very, very close. Like I know I said end of the first, but I'm talking about like mere seconds of the first round. So I think he knew he had to kind of rush to get that locked in because he knew that horn or whatever you want to call it was about to blow any second. I think that also hurt him. I just think the timing is what really hurt him the most.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to tap out. Just with him on the ground with that the submission move, like you said, I thought he was going to tap right there because I was watching his hand and I'm like, oh man, it's got to be locked in. But you looked at it, it wasn't locked in 100%. But I could see his hand like on the ground, like, oh, he's going to tap. He's got this lock. He's going to tap. But regards to the heel lock, I think you're exactly correct. In the later round, later in that round, the sweat was there, Joey. It was just like a lube because the angle that he had him in, he could
honey mustard,
the honey mustard shit, out there. Yeah, honey mustard is kind of slimy and slippery, That's good shit, but anyway, that's for another story. But you're right. I think that's what happened was the angle that he was at, Joey. He was on his side when it was locked in, and Wade he flipped it real quick. He reversed it, and it was just a clear reverse. It was just like a slippery escape, is what it was. But you know what, Joey? When the ref stopped it, did you clearly see that punch or no?
When they showed it back, you saw it was perfect punch. It was like
I thought it was an eye jab at first, Joey. I thought it was an eye jab.
The knuckle got him right in the eye, which is legal.
Right.
Perfect timing, perfect location. Perfect execution. Just how fast it swelled up and shut though was pretty
that was insane. I know that was insane. Like I said, I thought it was actually because I'm watching it downstairs and I'm looking at it. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, he got him with the eye. He poked him in the eye, so he's going to get unlimited time to stand there. When they replayed it, I'm like, oh my god, that was just a perfect punch right to the eye socket there. But you're right, that eye, Joey. What was that? What was our girl, Joey, with the alien head? That's how fast that swelled up. That's how fast that swelled up. Because I remember the cut man over there. He's like looking at it. He's just like,
Yeah. And there was no line that you could see out of it because it was clearly closed.
It was
shut.
clearly closed. Now he knows what I feel like being Asian all the time, Joey, with my eyesight. Like our eyes are closed. You know what I mean? But Joey, let me ask you something. We always talk about, your cut man, your trainer, in your corner. What if the ref said it's up to you? What would you have done, honestly?
If you're a champion,
what would you? I don't want to say yes, right or wrong, but
I think I would keep going.
Really, you would say? Would you look at me as your fighter, Joey? Paul, can you see? Joey, I can't see shit, brother. I can't see shit. You're good, Paul.
It's the fighter's decision. He's the one going out there. If I was the fighter, I think I'd keep going.
I think I would too. I think with Figgy, he's a warrior just like Marino. I think they would have gone, but I think one punch, or if he looks dazed where he can't see a punch coming in, or
Yeah,
it's a combo coming to him, even if it's not landed, Joey, I think the ref stops it right there. Honestly,
yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely do. But you got to consider the fighters, their well being, their health. But well, Joey, let me ask you this real quick. Now, Figgy, we talked about him. Division change here. What do we do?
I think you got to give him top 10, possibly top 5 right off the bat. You're talking
Okay.
about a guy who his past 6 fights or 7 fights
Yeah.
have been championship fights.
Mm-hmm.
Moving up a division, I think you don't go to the back of the line at that point.
I agree. I agree.
I think top 10, top 5 is where he should kind of fall in line at the 135.
What's your first match then?
Let me see the division.
Trying to pull it up now. So I really want to see where you're putting him in the top 10. I as well. I think I'm probably gonna put him. I'm gonna
So
put him in.
I think they already announced Jan versus
Giannis
darn
too.
Jan's fighting hold on. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Which one is it, Joey?
4.
Vera? Marlon Vera?
Is Vera 4?
Yeah, I'm looking at the updated one. I got Sterling's the champ. O'Malley's 2. Jan's 3. Dillashaw is 3. Well, champion Sterling. 1 is O'Malley. 2 is Jan. Dillashaw is 3. Vera's 4. Sandhagen is 5.
No, Dillashaw retired.
Well, they still have him up there. This is from today. I'm looking at it today.
I have
This is
Vera
from January
4
24th.
because Vera and Sandhagen are fighting, I believe.
Okay, so it's Vera and Sandhagen. Okay, all right.
And then Jan versus Davlishi, I don't know how to say his name,
Davalishi, yeah.
is scheduled for March
Okay.
11th.
All right. Now, did they already announce the Sterling O'Malley fight or no?
Not yet, because I don't think it's going to be Sterling O'Malley.
You don't think so?
It's going to be Sterling versus Kahuta.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So,
right. Wow. So if we put Moreno in here, Joey, I'm just going to go over the list here, okay?
No, Figueroa.
Figueroa, I'm sorry. Do you put him over Moonhouse?
Yeah.
You put him over
I
Yadong.
could see him.
You put
I
him over
give
Son
him
Yadong.
Fon. I give him Fon.
Okay, so you're going to put him right around 6 then, between 5, right behind Sandhagen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll both fall out once
Okay.
because they're fighting each other. 4-5 is fighting each other.
Right. Okay. Now let me ask you, Joey. I'm just going to name the top 5 fighters, and you tell me if he can beat them. Sterling.
It'd be a hell of a fight.
Okay. O'Malley.
I don't know. O'Malley's so long.
That's what I mean. His length is.
It'd be a hard fight, but it's possible. I mean, he's got power.
He does. Jan.
I don't know. That's a hell of a fight, Dob.
That's what I mean. Let's go with the guy we can't pronounce. Mirab. Debachili.
I don't know, because that last fight against Aldo, he looked like an absolute wrecking ball.
Okay, Vera.
I think he could beat Vera.
Okay, Sandhagen.
Ugh.
That's what I mean, Joey. I mean,
I just don't know because here's the thing. So at 125, he's the dominant big man. He's the bigger fighter. He has that size difference over them. I'm not sure in terms of size if he'd really be the much bigger fighter in these fights where he can impose his will. But I think every fight you name are winnable. I'm not going to say right off the bat he's going to kill.
Yeah.
Every single fight you said is a winnable fight for him.
I agree with that. I think every fighter that we mentioned does have their own strength. Just like we said, O'Malley, his length alone, Joey, that gives fighters hell. That length that he has.
Hold on 1 second. All right. 1 second. Right back. He fell asleep. I'll put him in his room.
Okay. Ken Fry checking in. Trayshawn, congratulations, Trayshawn. We will definitely be talking about that right after our fights here. But just like Joey said here with the rankings here, with him moving up to another division here, it's good. Excuse me, moving down to the division, it's going to be kind of hard because that division is actually stacked. We got Sterling, the champion, the way he looked last fight. O'Malley, his record 16-1. He looks great as well. The length of O'Malley alone can just beat anybody. Just the pure talent that he has, the length, I think it's very hard to beat him as well. And then you think about it, Peter Yan, bull power. Dvalishvili, same thing, the way he looked in his last fight, unstoppable the way he looked. I mean, we always know you go to one fight versus another fight, it's totally different. But, can you, Joey, I'm talking about this Dvalishvili here. The last fight he had, he looked insanely incredible.
Yeah, against Aldo.
Exactly. If he can put together 2 back-to-back fights like that, was it just a glimpse that we saw or anything like that? But this division is really stacked.
If he put that kind of fight together against Yan, who was a dominant champ at that division, you're talking about maybe even jumping O'Malley at this point. If that.
Yeah, I agree.
If that Kahuta Sterling fight doesn't come to fruition.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. This division's going to be kind of hard. I think Sterling is the way he looked, and if Dvalishvili, if he plays like he fought like he did last one against Aldo, it's going to be insane, Joey. It really is.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely.
I agree with that. Ken Price's reach can decide a fight. I mean, listen, you try getting into a guy's atmosphere with long reach. It's kind of hard because that jab can just come over the top of you any time. With Sean O'Malley there, it's kind of insane.
I mean, as of December 1st, Sterling confirmed that Kahuta was the next opponent.
Okay. Oh, he did confirm it. Okay. Did they say when yet, Joey? What UFC event on that or no?
He's 285.
What? Wait a minute, 285. That's Jones.
That'd be a hell of a co-main event.
That's Jones 285, if I'm not mistaken.
285 is Jones. That'd be a hell of a co-main event.
Wow. Damn. 285. Can we get to 285 real quick?
Yeah.
Man, holy crap. I thought it was going to be like 286. I didn't think they were going to put him on the undercard of the Jones fight, but hey, dude, that's going to be an insane battle.
O'Malley is saying that Sterling is dragging his feet with this fight. Like Kahuta's already agreed. It's just Sterling's holding it up. So O'Malley, as of 2 days ago, was saying, put me versus Kahuta for the interim, and Sterling's not going to step up and sign the contract.
You think that happens?
If it happens, I think it's a long night for O'Malley.
I do too. I don't think it happens because that card alone, I think Dana White's smart enough to say, listen, no, this fight's going to happen here because of the fact Jones is a headliner on the thing. We're already going to sell the event. We'll just back him out and let him fight another day on headline maybe 2
Yeah,
days.
but they still try to stack it even more.
They do. But I mean, listen, you got Jones Jr. coming back up there. How long we talked about, Joey? 2.5 years? I think we said longer than that. It was like 2 years and 6 months. That alone is going to sell the card, Joey. We're talking like Conor McGregor selling here, honestly. And I think Dana White just says like, okay, look, if you don't want to fight this one, we'll headline you 286. Don't worry about it. That's what I think happens. But they are going to try to stack this card. They definitely are. Because I think there's a women's event. I think that's on that card too, Joey. I think I sent it to you earlier this week. I forgot who it was, but the co-main event is the women's fight as well. I think it was Nunez. I thought it was. You can look that up real quick, Joey. I think it's Nunez that's fighting in that card, Joey.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's I thought I sent it to you. Who's he fighting?
Aldana.
Okay, all right. Because I remember I seen Jones, and then I seen the women's title there. I thought it was Nunez. I'm like, holy crap. Okay, so that's going to be crazy, Joey. With 3 fights, Jones headlining, Nunez, and then we have Sterling. That's a hell of a card if it's 285, Joey.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a card. Wow. Okay. Wow.
And wait, I think Lomachenko. Valentina is on that card.
Oh, really? The Bullet? Wait, no, she can't be. Number 2 won't fight the same day as Nunez, Joey.
Well, she's champ in the other division.
Yeah, she's okay. She's gonna hold the title. So you're going to talk in the flyweight division. So you're going to talk about what is that confirmed on 285, Joey, or no?
as of 2 days ago, it was confirmed by ESPN.
Really?
Will defend her title
Wow.
at 285 on March.
Wow.
So Nunez hasn't been confirmed yet.
Okay, so they just said it. They just rumored it out with the billboard. Okay. So either way, you're going to probably get a women's title fight, either Vinchenko or Nunez, pretty much.
Yeah,
With
I mean, then we get
Sterling and Jones. With Sterling and Jones.
you also get Bo Nichols, who for people who aren't too familiar with him,
I'm not very familiar with him.
he's an absolute stud. I believe he was from Penn State wrestler.
Okay.
Who just an absolute animal.
What division do you enjoy?
So he hasn't actually fought in the UFC yet, like an actual fight.
Okay.
He did the Contender Series.
Okay.
And just dominated both fights, and now is actually in it.
Okay.
But yeah, Bo Nichols is going to be a special fighter.
Okay.
And he's on this card also. He's someone to look out for.
So he's going to be on the main card?
I think they put him on the main card. He's already got some pretty big following power.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a 285 stack card, honestly, when we get to that point there. But, man. But let's talk about something, Joey. Let's talk about this last fight here, Joey. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Ken says, Pachenko versus Grasso, women's title fight. Okay. All right. That's already confirmed, Ken, as you read it?
Yeah.
It is confirmed. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to 285, Joey. I really can't, honestly. If you think about it. I mean, it's going to be a pretty... I'll pay the money just to see Jones come back, honestly. I want to see how he comes back after 2.5 years, Joey. Really think about it. But, Joey, let's get to this main event here. Jemiah Hill claims the belt over the legend Glover Teixeira. What did you see with this fight, Joey?
Glover was starting to show his age big time in this fight.
Yes.
I think Glover looked like the 40-plus-year-old man in this fight.
Yeah.
Hill just the continue onslaught of pressure was just too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I felt like I'm surprised the fight went the distance.
I am too, 100%.
Just because there was plenty of times there where I thought Hill was going to get him out of there. Yeah. One thing I want to talk about, though, and it's pretty comical to me, is the UFC brought in Anthony Smith to be because they do this now with all the big pay-per-view fights.
Mm-hmm.
In case they lose one of the main fighters, they step in and fight. So Anthony Smith was brought in to step in case Hill or Teixeira couldn't make weight or miss something like that. Something happened leading up to the fight. So the replacement has to make weight to be able to be in. He missed weight by 2 pounds. Like, come on.
Yes, I know.
Like that. That's terrible.
It is. Now, Joey. Now let me ask you this: Jemiah Hill. I mean, we look at Glover just like he's 40. What is he? 40+ years old here. It caught up with him. It really showed. But
Hill impressed me.
He really did. That's what I want to talk about. I'm trying to put a light on Glover here. I mean, we talk about going out right.
I think I know where you're going with this. What I'm gonna say to you is, so you don't have to say it. I think this fight had more to do with Hill and his progression and getting better than it did with Teixeira and his age and degression.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had more this fight said more about Hill.
I agree.
And how good he can be. Because if we remember, wasn't that long ago that Teixeira got stopped in the last minute of the championship fight, where if he would have just stayed back, he wins that belt back.
Agree.
So that was a couple months ago. You don't drop off that big that fast.
And that was at 4. I think it was about 4:32 in the 5th round.
Yeah,
with that rear naked choke against JP.
Yeah, so I think this fight says more about Hill and how good he is. But let's say the one thing that's pretty cool about this whole thing, Hill became the first fighter in the Dana White Contender Series to become a UFC champion. That's pretty cool.
It is.
That shows you that the Contender Series is working.
And that tells you, like, Joey, a lot of people say you started at the bottom, now you're here. He did it. I mean, he started with Contender
Series. He had a fight. He had to fight his way into the UFC.
He did. I mean, you got that contract, and listen, you haven't looked back yet. Now you're the champ. And what better way? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Glover retired. We'll talk about his retirement tonight. But you beat a legend to take over the championship. I don't want to. I'm not going to take anything away from him being Glover being 40 years old over the hill. You beat a champion, and the way you did it was very convincing. 5 rounds of convincing UFC fighting, convincing.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this now, Joey. Going to this division here, let's talk about it. Jamai is the champ. We have JP at 29-3. We have Ankala, I can't even say his name. Muhammad, 18-1, and you got Blankachaw at 29-9. Who can beat Jamal Hill the way he looked? I think it's going to be JP.
It's going to be a very good fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a fight where if you blink, you might miss it.
Yes.
Because both of these guys come out and just fire.
I agree. 100%. When do you think we see this fight? I mean, you're probably looking at maybe 6 months for Jamai Hill to be off the record right now. So we're probably looking at 90 maybe?
Wasn't his injury a year?
I don't know if it was a year. Was it a year?
His shoulder. It was a lengthy injury.
Okay. All right.
So whenever I think he's next in line. You know, he didn't lose the belt. He had to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously next in line. I think it's just a matter of when he's ready, he'll get it.
So as soon as he's recovered, he's going to get this first shot.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be interesting. And here's what's interesting to me is
Mm-hmm.
that last fight, right? That draw.
Yeah.
If JP is out for an extended period of time and they don't feel like waiting around, who from that draw do they give the next title shot to? Because they're obviously the next two in line after JP, right? Looking at the rated records.
I think you have to give it to Ankla, Ankal.
Abe?
Yeah, Abe. Yeah, there we go. I hate saying a nickname that we call people, but you're right. I think you give it to Abe. I think he's deserving 18-1, Joey. Why not? Why not give him a shot? Why not?
But I think you have an angry Polish man on your hand then.
Yeah, I mean, I think you give it to him. I really do. I think that's the next. If it doesn't happen, listen, you got to go right down the ladder. And I think he's deserving of this fight. I really do, Joey.
Yeah, I think that's next bet too.
I think so. You have to. I mean, listen, we've talked about him. The way he's fought this last matches, he looks pretty damn good as well, Joey. And I think he'll give anybody a run for the money. We've seen that. Really
yeah,
good.
I think this 205 division is wide open right now, and anyone in the top 5 could easily upseat the champion and become champion, which I think is great for the sport.
I agree with that. I think this division it's wide open. This has the door wide open. It's a revolving door, honestly. I mean, we talk about some divisions where, listen, you ain't going to have a shot. You know what I mean? You're not going to have a shot in some of the, just like with the Volkanovski division, Joey. We talked about that division. He's got that division on lockdown, Joey.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, you ain't going nowhere with that division. But this division, the door is wide open, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
There's Stacy checking in. Stacy, thank you for checking in. You can check out Stacy every Friday night, Big Blue Power Hour, 8 p.m., talking to those New York Giants who are sitting right next to me on the couch, watching Joey's team playing the playoffs here. So check her out every Friday night, Big Blue Power Hour. Definitely check them out. But yeah, Joey, but you know what? The one thing I got to say, Glover retired, Joey, but I tell you what, there was something that I seen after the fight. Now, we seen Moreno get ice bolted, all these ice things thrown in cups, cans, whatever was out there. I think somebody shot a bullet at him. We don't know. But I give respect to Glover at the end of the fight. He put his flag over Jamai Hill and walked out together for him not be able to get hit with all the bullshit that happened, Joey.
Yeah, and I think the two different reactions has a little more to do with the way that fight was stopped. Glover got his ass beat for 5 rounds, and I think the fans were like, okay, this man lost. He retired. Let's give him the respect they deserve, and I think that's why that happened that way. But in terms of Figueroa fight, it was stopped in between rounds. The fans were like, this is bullshit,
Yeah, but Joe, I don't want to say it was bullshit. I mean, that was a clear knock right on his face.
But what I'm saying is the fans felt cheated. At least with the Teixeira fight, it was 5 rounds of him just getting his ass beat. Nothing to complain about.
No, you're right. I can see your point. It was just a one punch to the face and the ref stopped because you couldn't see. I get that. I get that point. But I respect Glover so much for what he said at the end of the fight. Listen, he deserves it. He's a champ. He's the champion now. He's the champ. Respect him. And I gave him so much credit when he did that, Joey. I really did. And to me, that we always know he's a sportsman. His sportsmanship in the UFC has been over the top from beginning to end. And the way he walked out in his last fight, that's how you're going to remember Glover, a warrior, and one of the best sportsmen ever in the UFC, Joey, ever. You know, the way he does it over and over. He ducks no fight. 40 years old, defending the crown. You know, to walk out like that, I give the dude credit, man. Like, man, I really do. 40 plus years old, Joey. You think about that, you know? Think about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, listen, my God, his record 33-9, Joey. He's fought just about everybody in the world. You know what I mean? You think about it. But how fast do we get him in the Hall of Fame, Joey?
Yeah. I'm not sure, honestly.
Is there a thing where you have to wait in the UFC a certain amount of time to get in the Hall of Fame?
Not really.
No, because DC did it in 1 year, 2 years, right?
Yeah, but he's not quite on that level. I don't know.
He's not DC level.
I think it'll be a little while.
I think we're going to look about 4 to 5 years. He's definitely not DC Cormier level. I don't want to put him in that category, but he is one of the greats, Joey. You know, I mean, we lost another one as well. Shogun retired also. You know,
now he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
He will
immediately.
He will be. I mean, you look at his record. You know, 27-14. What I don't like about it, Joey, is you look at his last 5 fights. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, Joey.
Yeah, just an absolute legend, though.
He is.
My favorite fight ever is him versus Henderson. An absolute war. Absolute war.
Yes.
But he was.
I agree.
He was absolutely. I think he beat Machida when Machida was almost unstoppable. Lyoto Machida.
Mm-hmm.
He beat him to win for the title, and then Jones beat him
Mm-hmm.
to start his run. But I mean, at the time when that karate stance with Machida was just unstoppable, and Shogun came in there and just made late work of him. And then
how many times did he fight Henderson? Was it 3 times, 2 or 3 times?
I think it was 2.
Okay, because I know there was one. He lost one with the nasty punch. I remember that one.
Yeah, he's just absolute wars. I think he's faster into the Hall of Fame than Teixeira.
Okay, because I remember one. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. One went to decision. The loss went to decision as well. But hell of a career, man. Listen,
was that on the same card? If you click that card, was that on the same card as Faber in the co-main event?
Let me look at it real quick, Joe. Let me see. Where's it at? Well, the one he headlined, Shogun versus Henderson, that was UFC 139. Wow, that's going back. And the other one, Joey, was it doesn't show me the actual who was on it actually.
That's what I'm talking about. The 139.
The 139.
Uriah Faber, Wanderlei Silva, Chung Lee. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me look at it real quick.
That's the one. That's my favorite fight of all time.
Yeah, you got Silva versus Lee, Faber versus Bowles. Yeah,
Yeah, that's my favorite fight of all time.
Wow, Weidman versus Lawler. Wow, holy crap. Yeah, I mean, we lost 2 legends in one night. I mean, it's insane how many legends we're losing here. I mean, it paves the way, Joe. Though I mean, these younger fighters are actually they're just blessed. Like we're blessed to watch Tom Brady. We hate him, you know what he's done on the football field. You know, his fingers have 7 rings, but we have witnessed some hell of a fighters retire in the last year, Joe. If you think about this, you know.
Yeah, for
really
sure.
Do. And the fans of the UFC have actually, to me, it's like, Joey, I'm a little bit older than you, of course, but you watch double many fights than I have, and just like you said, you know, watching that fight versus Henderson there, it brought back memories of the old Shogun. You know, that's what it brings back to me. It's like we were blessed enough to see these fighters in their heyday, really do. And I just hate to see Glover go out the way he did. You know, barely.
Yeah.
I hate to see that. I want to see him ride out, of course, but it had to go that way, Joey, because he was a champ. He relinquished, you know, the belt, of course, but it's a class act what he did, how he went out. You know, he's a warrior to me. Always will be. Always will be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, we're talking about Shogun all the way back to Pride days, you know?
Yes.
Like just an absolute legend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Joey, let's move on for a little bit here. Now, we did have a fight. You know, we do have the fight on here, but I have to look for ways to get it on here. But in a couple weeks, we are going to have this fight broadcasted on Out of the Box here. There was a fight down in Miami. Our hometown boy here, Trayshawn Wiggins, the NABH welterweight champion, defended his title against Nigel Fennell down in Miami. It went the distance, but this fight was clearly one-sided. Now, we will show the fight because we're going to try to get Brock as trainer and Trayshawn on the show, and we're going to narrate the whole fight. We're going to watch it from beginning to end through Trayshawn's eyes and through Brock's eyes, because I want to see what they seen during the fight. Because this fight here, I've seen Trey spar, okay, and I tell you what, seeing him spar, you don't really see the speed that this kid has. The speed that this kid has is insane. The fighters always say, you can't hit what you can't catch, or you can't hit what you can't see. Trayshawn has that unlimited speed, Joey, where it was just, I don't even know how the refs gave Nigel Fennell 2 rounds. I really don't, one of the refs. To me, I had it 9-1. 9-1.
Yeah.
It was a clear coasting of Trayshawn Wiggins. So, Trayshawn, man, we watched the fight. Incredible fight. Glad you brought it back, to Newburgh, New York. Glad you brought it back to Johnstown, PA. Can't wait for your little press conference up here. I'll be a part of that. So, Joey, what do you have to say about this fight? I think it was so one-sided. And I'll let you finish first, Joey, because I love what Trayshawn said at the end of the fight.
Yeah, so I was having a little bit of technical issues watching the stream, but from what I seen, Wiggins just looked like the faster fighter.
Yes.
Obviously, both guys are hungry. Both guys are training their ass off to get to this point. So you never want to say someone did something more, in training or something. It just looked like at this point when you're in the ring, all the training's at the window, and what comes back to you is your skills. It looked like Wiggins just was a little more skilled,
Right.
a little faster. It looked like his punches were having a little more effect.
Yeah. And with this fight here, I love what Brock said. You remember when we had Brock, doing his little thing here? Excuse me. Just drank some orange juice. Here's Ken Fry real quick. Ken Fry says, Trey executed game plan 100%. 100%. Yep. Harry, I don't want to say the last name. I'm very sorry. I don't want to butcher it. Big win for Trayshawn. Exactly. 100%. He did his thing. And I love what Brock said during his little tribute to him that we posted, Joey. It's already I can't say anymore. The training's already been done. Now it's up to you in the ring. And he did that. He did that 100%. And that's what it goes to show.
That's the biggest thing, Paul, isn't it? Like both of these guys are working their ass off to get to this point. It's who can execute once they're in the ring, because you can't say, oh, well, this guy did that. Like, they both worked before that fight to get to that point.
100%.
Just a matter of who was going to execute once they got in the ring. And Trayshawn executed. And who he was fighting, he executed too. It just looks like Wiggins, when he was landing, was doing more of the damage, which is a big component, especially in the judges' eyes. The sound test was a big factor. When those punches are landing, whose punches are sticking out to you and leaving an impression. I just felt like Wiggins, a lot of times throughout the night, was landing shots that there was no answer to.
I mean, he dominated the ring control. I mean, Trayshawn was on the outside of the ring for a majority of the fight, but a lot of times when you're on the outside of the ring, the inside guy has control. I want to say control.
Yeah, you leave yourself open.
Exactly. But Trayshawn, I mean, he just kept him at an arm's reach, and the jab was there. There was a lot of combos, right and left ones, and I even heard Don King not Don King, but the announcer there say that Trayshawn, his flow is just dictating the fight. He's letting the fight come to him. And you remember when we had Trayshawn on the show, Joey? Remember what he said? We asked him, how do you fight like the first rounds? And he said, I'm like a computer.
Yeah.
I'm digesting everything. And that first round, it was exactly what I seen, where he's digesting Nigel's his foot movement, his head movement. And it was just like, okay, it's just feeling each other out. Then after the sudden, it was just like, okay, I see what I see. Jab here, come back, jab again, wait. And just like the announcer said, he's setting him up. He's waiting and setting Nigel up. And that's what I seen. It wasn't a knockout, but listen, man, it showed me a lot going 10 rounds with this kid and winning 9 rounds out of 10. To me, it was 9 out of 10. It wasn't 8 out of 10. But, all props go to Nigel out there. Listen, Nigel, I said I follow you on Instagram as well. Continue prayers for you, man. Listen, just like Trayshawn said, the announcer said, 14-5, Trayshawn's a lot better fighter than that. Don't let this one fight get you down, Nigel. keep striving, brother. Anything can happen. So props to you, brother. Hope you
Did
recover from
Trey
this one.
Sean call anyone out at the end of the fight? 'Cause I didn't get to see that.
Oh, let's talk about this, Joey. Let's talk about this. Now, Joey, there was 4 names mentioned, Joey. Can you imagine who Trey Sean called out?
No, who?
The fight that we want to see, Joey. What fight are we waiting to see, Joey?
Spence and Crawford?
He said, look, if any one of those two want to back out, I'm here. I can't fight today, but I'll fight tomorrow. He called him out. And then also, Joe, he said Ortiz. Why not Ortiz? Why not? Why not? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. That's what I love about Trey Sean. He'll fight anywhere, anytime.
I think that fight was actually called off, his next fight. I think his opponent broke his jaw.
Okay. Well, listen, man. If you're the WBO out there in WBA, and listen, you don't want to fight anybody. Listen, I got a direct line to Trey Sean. You can give me a call, and I can get him on the phone tomorrow night. We can set this up right here on Out of the Box because, like Trey Sean said, he ducks nobody, man. He ducks nobody. So records alone, let's get it happen because Trey Sean right now, I'm looking at the new rankings here, Joey, and he jumped up from 11 to he's actually 11 now. Here's the thing: before it was a mixed category. Now he's number 11 and consistent in the world, Joey. Right now, he's the only NABA fighter ranked, Joey, in the WBA welterweight at 147 right now. So I think he deserves a shot. I really do.
Yeah. Sure.
I know WBA, WBO is, I don't want to say head of the class because I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but just because you're NABA, give my man a shot. He's hungry. He wants his fight. He wants his fight, Joey. Yep, and he's not going to back down. He's not going to back down no matter what. But yeah, man, I Trey Sean, listen, man, you put on one hell of a fight. I loved it. I was sitting here. I was actually streaming it for all my boys at the network here. Pretty much everybody watched it, and we all had your back, brother. You did what you had to do. And we're proud of you, man, 100%. Can't wait to get you back on the show here. And we can narrate the whole fight, man, because I'd love to see what you were thinking, with that computer chip in the first 2 rounds, man. You said what you were going to do. You did it. Just like your mom said, ring that bell, brother. And you definitely rang that bell, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
But, Joey, before we get out here, I know we're going to be talking, we have another 3 or 4 weeks here until UFC 284 comes around. Boxing's not really, not really big fights coming out, the next 3 or 4 weeks here. So what do we have on tap for next week? Can you have any idea what we're talking about next week?
I'll have to look through it. Maybe we'll cover the Fury and Ngannou rumors.
Okay. Now, Joey, real quick, what is this Queensberry thing, Joey?
Yeah, I have to look into that a little more. It's like bare knuckle, but with smaller gloves.
Yeah.
Smaller, shorter rounds, no clinching.
They're talking 4-ounce gloves from 6 to 8. They're going.
No clinching. So we'll get into all that next week. We want to leave some stuff to talk about next week, but yeah, we'll definitely cover that next week on the show.
Now, I can't promise this to the viewers out there. We had a young lady on our show about 3 months ago. Her name is Natalie Morgan. If you guys can look over this shoulder here, right down there, there's an autograph poster of her. She is fighting for the United States Championship. February 24th in New York City, Muay Thai event. So I'm talking to her. We're going to try to get her on the show before she prepares for the fight as well, to wish her luck as well. She's part of the Out of the Box family. You can also check her out, Ghostface Killer, Ladyface Killer on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. She has her own channel out there, so please check her out as well. She's part of the family here. But we will try to get her on the show in a couple of weeks prior to her title bout in New York City. But, Joey, is there anything else that you have out there, man? I mean, you know what, Joey? I did hear one rumor, not UFC, not boxing, but what the hell happened to Splash Mountain?
Yeah, it's a touchy subject for some people.
Well, let's not get into the subject, but I know a lot of people were down there for Disney, getting their last pictures of, what was down there, Joey. But I missed it because I didn't have a damn travel agent, Joey.
Yeah.
So, can you talk to me about how, you know anybody that can get me down there, Joey?
Yeah, for sure. Like we always said, if you ever needed a trip, Disney World, not just Disney World though, Disneyland, Disney Cruises, Disney Adventures, anything possible. I'm an official Disney travel agent, licensed Disney travel agent. We're actually this year, the company I work for, Mr. M's House of Travel, we actually made gold this year for the rankings. Like it's gold, silver, bronze. We actually made gold this year, so we're one of the top agencies in the country.
Hmm.
Get you booked the trip to Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise. $200 down gets you there. The rest isn't due until 30 days before.
Okay.
There's some new rides opening up. We got some things coming back, some fireworks coming back. All the characters are finally coming back. I know a lot of people like me were saying not go back to Disney until things start to come back, COVID restrictions are lifted. Well, Disney is finally coming back to Disney. We got
Right.
all the characters coming back. We got all the shows coming back. Everything's finally opening up again. We're getting back to capacity again. Great time to get back to Disney and get everything that it has to offer and bring the magic back to Disney. So we got
Okay.
some roller coasters coming up. The new Guardians of the Galaxy just recently opened. There's a new Tron roller coaster coming out.
Mhm.
Happily Ever After, the fireworks show's coming back. Fantasmic just recently came back. A lot of things to be excited about. Get down there, let's get you down there and get you back to the magic.
There you go. You heard it first. Mr. M's House of Travel. Give the man a call. That's his cell phone, actually. So, guys, give him a call. Set this up. Get it straight. He helped out my niece about, 6 months ago, Joey, when you first started. Great time. The itinerary was there. Give him a call. 215-820-3644. Listen, you can't go wrong. He doesn't make anything. Disney pays him $200 to get you all set up. Let's get it done. Get down to Disney because, Joey, here, we got 6 inches of snow coming tomorrow. So I wish I can get my ass down Disney for you, brother. I really
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah.
before we get out of here, Joey, let's play a little video here. This is all of our shows coming up. We do have new shows coming up. I just heard today, Joey, for all you fantasy baseball guys out there, we're going to have a fantasy baseball show coming up here in about 4 weeks here to get you ready for the season as well. So that's going to be one of our new shows. It's not on our list here yet, but take a minute. We'll be back here in 1 minute to close the show. All right, there you have it. That's our complete lineup here. As we said, you always make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter for all show notifications. You never know when something breaking comes up. We'll be live. You never know with Out of the Box. That's why we are Out of the Box here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on all platforms. We're also on TikTok coming up here, Instagram as well. We'll link that to our page as well. But our final comment here is, well, actually, we have two. Eileen, listen, thank you for checking in. We've seen you checking into a lot of our shows. We appreciate you do that. Fantasy baseball, there you go. And we might even have a league where we can invite our guests and viewers out there as well, just to collaborate with them, have a little fun, of course. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, our guy Ken Fry, you can check him out twice a week, bi-weekly on every Wednesday. He won't be on tomorrow, as I believe, if I'm correct. My old age might get me. But the Bat Cave is bi-weekly every Wednesday at 10 a.m. talking New York Mets, MLB, everything out there, you got it. He talks about it. And, of course, Saturday night, live from Las Vegas, Sin City, 10 p.m. Eastern, the Vegas sports scene with Ken Fry and, of course, Rob Hefner, a.k.a. the mayor of Las Vegas. So, guys, here at Out of the Box, we got you covered pretty much anything. You name it, we'll cover it. Hell, we might have a cooking show, a racing show. We might even have a show about honey mustard. Who the hell knows? We have it all here. So, Joey, there we go. See, that's Ken Fry next Wednesday. See, Ken, I'm not that old. I remember it's bi-weekly. There we go. So, Joey, anything else, brother?
Nope, that's it. Great show. Be back again next Tuesday.
All right. For myself, Paul Spencer, Joey the Hitman Wood, we'll be back next Tuesday, 10 p.m. with all UFC boxing action. So until then, Have a great night, and we will see you next Tuesday at 10 p.m. Have a great night.